Hello and welcome to another episode of Absent with Our Lord podcast, everything faith, family, and outdoors. Join us on all social media platforms and share with friends and family. We hope you are encouraged and uplifted by our content as we share the good news, the gospel of Jesus Christ. A remarkable individual is a true embodiment of a multi-layered character. As a devout family man, an avid outdoorsman, a fitness enthusiast, and a passionate advocate for life wellness, Clint Kingston's journey through life is a testament to his commitment to personal growth and empowerment. What truly sets Clint apart is his remarkable ability to harness the power of social media to inspire and uplift others in their own life's journey. In this episode, we will explore the facets of Clint's life that make him a cherished family member, a nature enthusiast, a fitness guru, and a social media influencer dedicated to empowering and motivating those who follow his journey and to empower theirs.
Hey guys, it's Jonathan here. Another podcast, Absent with Our Lord podcast, bringing you our guest, Clint Kingston. I don't know if you guys follow him not on social media, but definitely go and check out Clint Kingston. He is I don't know, Clint, what would you call yourself? An outdoor athlete or?
Yeah, that's a good question. This is kind of a new niche that I found myself into, but I would definitely say that I really enjoy any type of physical activity in the outdoors, and I love archery hunting. So, and I've been just heavily involved with the First Form outdoors community in exactly that, shooting my bow while getting my heart rate up.
Perfect. And again, I would say he's a remarkable individual from Idaho, and definitely following him has enlightened me, to the different types and challenges in the outdoor world. How did you come to get with First Form, if you don't mind us asking?
No, not at all. It's actually a pretty long story. I originally kind of crossed paths with First Form by Andy Frizella's 75 Hard program. So it was not long after COVID had hit us, then I found myself in a pretty bad funk. A lot of things were changing in my lifestyle, and my wife, she goes to a local gym here close to where we live, and her small gym community started talking about the fundamentals of 75 Hard and how life-changing it had been for some of them. And so my wife actually was the first one to kind of introduce the 75 Hard program to me, and that started my obsession with First Form. I guess I started following Andy's podcast and following them on social media.
Right on. And for those that don't know, I'm about half or 2/3 through 75 Hard, and it's definitely a physical and mental challenge. It's where you find yourself doing workouts, one outside, 2 45-minute workouts, reading a nonfiction book for 10 pages, taking some progress photos, and
gallon of water.
Oh, that gallon of water, yeah, that's a good one. But definitely
follow a diet.
Definitely a overall focus on both mental health and physical health. So it's very intense, because today, how was the weather in Idaho? Because it was terrible in Illinois, and I didn't get my outside workout in the morning, so I got poured on the last 10 minutes of it. I almost made it, but
oh man, those are the fun days. That's where we see a lot of growth.
Right.
Yeah, it's definitely cooled down here in Idaho. Just the last couple of days, we've had bluebird skies, but it was like 15 degrees Fahrenheit this morning, so pretty cold.
Ooh, that is a tough one. A cold front's pushing through here. And what season? What are you doing right now as far as hunting wise? What are you going after?
So we just barely finished up with our archery season. The month of September is when it ended. We have our open deer rifle hunt. It actually just ended on the 24th, but that was my most recent hunt. And I personally didn't have that rifle deer tag. I had a archery deer tag, but I was able to take my middle son, Maddox, who was 12 years old, and successfully harvested a nice buck for him. So that was an awesome experience for the both of us.
How old are your boys?
So I have 3 boys. My oldest is Braden. He's 18, just barely graduated high school and just turned 18, actually. And then my middle child, Maddox, is 12. And my youngest, who is Knox, maybe you guys have seen him. He loves to shoot his bow with me. In fact, he was a big piece to last season's November Knockdown Challenge. We created quite a bit of content together, shooting our bows and doing burpees. So Knox, he is 6 years old.
That's cool. I've got 3 boys, 14, 12, and 9. So I got a couple that are in a similar age group to yours. And my youngest is also the one that likes to get out there with me, and whatever I'm doing, he's all about it.
Yeah, they sure are a lot of fun at that age. I think my youngest out of all 3 boys is probably going to be the most tied to me with all my outdoors activities. He at least shows the most interest up to this point, so hopefully that progresses.
My youngest, Luke, he's been all about building his own bows now. Been going out, choosing some choice saplings and bringing them back home and trying to build some long bows. He built him an arrow. He had some arrowheads that he found, and he got it all done up, stuck some feathers in there. He's gung-ho, man. He killed his first deer this year. So, yeah, he's hooked now.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Nothing better than that. Especially all that creativity going into a passion as such. That's awesome.
So, Clint, there's one thing that you and Aaron have kind of in common. Even you guys put a lot of social media content out about with your kids and embracing the outdoors kind of with athletics. So I know that you have gone through quite a physical transformation. If you could share what that journey was like and how that ties to your kids and your longevity of that legacy.
Yeah, absolutely. If there's been one change that I've really endured throughout my life, it's definitely been my physical transformation change. So at a very young age, throughout, I think it was probably 8th grade, is when I started kind of packing on some weight. That's really when I found myself kind of steering away from sports and any physical type activities, mostly just because I kind of started getting into, at that age, you know how it can be. I kind of found myself going down a couple of the wrong paths where I started experimenting with cigarettes and a little bit of alcohol, and that took me out of the sports that I had passion for, just because I didn't have the endurance. I didn't have the passion or I guess I struggled with athleticism at that point from going down those paths, and that ended up taking me down that path where I started just eating a lot of junk food, not having disciplines around my diet, not getting the physical activity that I needed. And long story short, from middle school clear through high school, I gained a tremendous amount of weight. I was just kind of the chubby kid. I had a lot of friends. I don't want to put it out there like I was picked on or that I had a miserable childhood, because that wasn't the case. I just found myself in this group of friends where we partied a lot, and I just didn't have good habits back then, and it led me down that path where through college I continued down that path a little bit, and by the end of it, I think I weighed about 235 pounds, and you guys have an idea of what my frame is, and I'm 5'8" for those that don't, and 235 pounds on my frame is a tremendous amount of weight. So basically, right out of college, I kind of got my first job. I went to school to become a welder, and I started working, which kind of forced me to get that exercise, that labor intensive work. And I started eating a little bit better, putting more focus on my nutrition, and started watching the pounds kind of drop off. And I could tell like how much better I felt by doing so. And then, yeah, I still didn't have the best of habits. I still drank a lot, still smoked cigarettes, still, kind of ate like crap on the weekends, at least when I wasn't working. But I was slowly but surely kind of starting to drop some of that weight. And with time, I could just tell I felt so much better. So yeah, that kind of led me into getting in decent shape, but still not having like a good idea of what a healthy diet really entailed and how physical activity could really change things for me, not only physically, but mentally. Until recently, like I said, I found 75 hard in early 2020. And I'm not kidding. 75 hard has just kind of tied all of that together for me. So I made that major transformation years and years ago, but 75 hard, the program itself, has just really changed me physically and mentally. It's just grown me into a completely different person.
Yeah, that's when we had the privilege of having Dale Beatty on a podcast not that many weeks ago. And one thing that Dale said is he's just not the same person that he was before as he went through and never will be. And like I look at your social media and your transformation picture, which I know that you said, it's taken you years to make that vast transformation. But it's almost like when you look at somebody with a powerful faith testimony I see you on social media. I couldn't imagine you weighing what you weighed or I guess having that framework. It's such a radical, vast change that you've been able to accomplish. And I'm sure that has made you, a better father, a better husband, a better friend, a better employee. And that's one thing with the 75 Hard program is when it ends, because this is like my third round, and once you get to like day 50, everybody in common society really aggravates you because the discipline that you continue to go through each day. So then the common average complaints just frustrate you because it's like they don't understand that, their hardships are really not that hard, or they really are easier to overcome. So, seeing you, Aaron too, he puts a lot of stuff on social media with his kids, and you recently going on that archery or that deer hunt, rifle hunt with your son. My dad passed away in 2005, and it's really cool to even though it's through social media and you don't really know us. I can tell the passion of the outdoors, that you want to leave your kids and that legacy for that. And I had that with my dad in some aspects. Mine was sports. I was a college athlete, and that's kind of why, 75 Hard and fitness, wellness. I will be 33 coming up here in the end of November, and I want to be that forever athlete. I want to be able to enjoy the outdoors to the fullest extent. Me and Jonathan have been talking about going on an elk hunt like you just went on, and the terrain and the stress that it takes on your body to continually get up and do that every day to pursue an animal is something that I want to be able to do as long as I possibly can. So that twist of the outdoors and stuff, and it's a blessing to have guys like you and Aaron promote that with your kids. And it's our responsibility of outdoorsmen to show through any outlet that we have that we need to continue that, and everybody needs to jump on board with getting outside, getting involved with your kids, because it'll change their whole trajectory of their lives if they understand and have that they cherish that with you guys, and the respect for the outdoors that you guys show. It's really cool. So
I guess without interrupting you, I guess the question is how did you get involved with the outdoors? What did that look like for Clint?
So at an early age, is that what you're asking, Jonathan?
Yes, sir. Your earliest memories, or how did you develop the passion?
Yeah. So, ever since I can remember at such a young age, I always had a love for guns. So let me just start there. So I remember as being, 4 or 5 years old, I would kind of throw my temper tantrums and beg for my parents to take me to the local store, which was called King's at the time. I don't know if you guys have had King's, but that was kind of the toy store that was close to us. And every week it seemed like I'd have to go down there and get a new gun. But I just loved firearms from a very young age. And as I grew up, this is kind of a funny part of the story of my growing up is my dad, he was actually a vegetarian. So he was never necessarily personally into hunting. He would take us in the outdoors anytime that we asked, and he would take us fishing all the time. But by religious beliefs, he didn't believe in killing or harming animals for food, obviously being a vegetarian. But he was always my biggest supporter in any passions that I had and that I wanted to pursue. So my dad, even when I was 10, 11, 12 years old, he would take me duck hunting just because I loved to shoot guns. And when you're young, then that's kind of the first hunting species that you can go after. So he'd take me down to the local river and we'd go jump ducks off of the river. And he always had a good time just being with me and taking me out to do that. And then I was very fortunate. One of my uncles is actually a very talented taxidermist, so he was always very active in the outdoor space. So he would take me out to go for hikes, and we'd go look for shed horns or shed antlers, and he would take me duck hunting and even deer hunting at a very young age. And then majority of my friends that were close to me, their parents were avid hunters, so they would take me in the outdoors as well. So in fact, the first buck that I shot, I believe it was at the age of 12, was off my back porch of my parents' house. Me and my buddy woke up early in the morning. I had seen some of these bucks passing through as I'd hop on the school bus to go to school, and it would always irritate me because you'd see that great big monster mule buck, and I'd be on my way to school. There wasn't anything I could do to go after him. So the weekend hit, and my buddy and I came up with this big plan of we were gonna wait till the first light and see if we could spot these bucks, and we were both successful in harvesting 2 bucks that morning. And the funniest part of that story is I actually ended up when I shot my deer, I shot him in the horn. It knocked his horn off, and I was so excited because I thought I had made a good shot on him and killed him. I ran to my bed, made sure the gun was unloaded, laid the gun on the bed, and ran out to him to check him out. And when I got out to him, then of course he was just knocked out. So he jumped up, and thank the Lord, my buddy had his gun with him, and so I'm yelling at him, shoot him, and as you guys can imagine, with us being like 10 feet away, he pulled up and looked through his scope, and all he could see was fur. He shot, and he missed completely. And then he decided it'd be easier just to hip shoot him, and he ended up, my 12-year-old friend, he ended up shooting him in the guts, and then ended up finishing him. Anyways, it made for a very messy first experience in cleaning my first deer. Let me just put it that way. So yeah, that was quite the ordeal. My dad was a vegetarian, so he didn't know the first thing about cleaning an animal. So yeah, he basically told us we were on our own. We need to figure it out. So
I love it.
That we did.
When Maddox shot that deer and you put the story, and he did the field dress start to finish, didn't he? Or did you pretty much walked him through it all, I think.
Yeah. So I kind of started and just kind of held his hand through the whole process, but he got his hands on every piece of it.
That was really cool.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah. If you can teach these kids at a young age and see if it's something that they're either going to enjoy it, respect it, and find the passion for it, or they're not, right? And that's a big piece of it, is you've got to know how to take care of the animals after you take a life to get it home and make sure that it's taken care of well so that it can feed the family. So it was a great experience for both of us.
No doubt. And as a father, Clint, as a father of 4, I can tell you, and just the stories you've told, one, they've made us laugh out loud, but 2, that connection, right? That's what it's about. That's what life is about, the relationships, the things you can build. I have 4 kids, and to say they all love hunting, no, that's not true. I'm very passionate about it, but guess what? They love me, so they understand that some of our most valued time is in a duck blind or in a deer stand. Even though they may not like it, they've grown up to realize, just like you said, your father, it's not what he necessarily was into, but he wanted to see and build that bond with you, just like you are with your son, just like I am with my kids. And that speaks to us. What makes us connected as the human race is that to grow our relationship with our children, just like our Father, just like the Lord, to continue to pursue those things. That it makes me happy that, and to hear you speak about that I didn't expect you to say my father was a vegetarian, and exactly, but he still took and spent that time. It's an awesome story. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. He's always been my hero, and he's always had my back 100%. So yeah, I couldn't have asked for a better upbringing by a better man.
Absolutely. And the challenge that come with that, like we were talking about, teaching your kid or your child, Maddox, is that his name? Is that correct? Yeah. The fullness of the experience and being able to enjoy that with him. And sometimes you'll have some negative experiences. I saw the one kind of where the, I guess maybe an adjacent landowner kind of tried to poop on your parade or your party, it seemed like, but teaching him the right way to respond to that and things like that, that's part of life too. Yeah,
exactly. It's hard to find the positive in some of those negative situations, but really it was an amazing opportunity for him to be able to see and experience both sides, the ups and downs of the hunt, and then just dealing with other conflicting individuals, right? So it all worked out in the end. It was great.
So, Clint, you followed White Oak Legends for a while on social media. I know we've been bouncing back and forth comments, sharing each other's stories, or just keeping each other encouraging in general, using social media as an outlet. Us being from Illinois and you being in Idaho, do you have any type of a faith journey or faith testimony that you'd be interested to show and share on this podcast? I know that our audience is spread amongst many states now. Our Facebook's about 2,000 followers or near it, and we've, over the last 2 or 3 years, we've tried to grow White Oak Legends as far as social media let us grow, and we've been blessed to meet people. It has been through First Form Outdoor community a lot, and a lot of just been local events that had people from other demographics and areas that come in for an outdoorsman event and stuff. But we'd love to give you the opportunity to share your testimony.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Yeah, so just kind of going back to my childhood. So when I was raised, I was raised by a split religion family. So my mother was very, very LDS oriented. So Mormon religion, I'm sure you guys are familiar with that. Yeah. And then my father, he was more Christian based. So his religion was the Church of I Am, where it believes in a lot of quantum energy type activities. So it was, again, very, very interesting upbringing, just being a part of both sides of those religions. And I tell you what, at the end of the day, I feel like I am more, my personal faith is more Christian based. But my family and I, we really like to look at it as we have our own religion. We've taken a lot of different pieces from several different religious beliefs, and we've kind of formed our own beliefs. So we definitely, yes, we see God in everything we do, and I mean, some experiences that I could share with you guys, especially just recently. I know I haven't talked a lot about this, but I recently lost my father during the COVID pandemic, and ever since then, I mean, in everything that I do, I can see him and I can feel him, and I know that he's overlooking everything, all my steps in the directions that I'm going. So, you know, even when I was in St. Louis, Missouri, doing the First Form Knockdown Challenge finals, I could feel his presence with me. And in fact, it was almost, although he slowed things down for me in the fourth round of that challenge, it was just the most interesting feeling I've ever experienced. Just watching my arrow soar through the air at 70 yards and hitting the target, I felt like he was there directing my shots, and it's like everything was in slow motion. It was, I can't even explain the feeling and the experience that I was provided at that moment. So some things are just unexplainable. Let me just put it that way.
Well, I mean, we're all Pentecostals, so we're very keen, knowledgeable of the supernatural, of what, the Holy Spirit can provide someone with comfort or peace that we don't understand. And that's what all three of us have backgrounds in church. My background in church is, early childhood. I wasn't made to go to church, but anytime I would want to go, my dad would take me. We would go very frequent, just First Christian Church. And then when he passed away in 2005, I was 14. And then I migrated to a larger church, larger Baptist church. Really having friends in the faith kept me, on the right path, or at least I didn't get too far from the straight and narrow, having friends of the faith. And then now in adulthood, my husband comes from a line of preachers, and he has a calling on his life to teach, and has just recently in the last couple years really grabbed a hold of that calling, which being one in a marriage. I think that we will empower our spouses to do the same, just as far as, fitness journeys or anything else. When you take that spiritual or life change or physical change, whoever is connected to your spouse as one is going to go on that journey with you, whether they want to or not. I've had very similar experiences, just as far as feeling my dad's presence in a moment or in scenarios of my life. Like my husband, his father also passed away, and his dad passed away a lot sooner, closer to our marriage. My husband never met my dad, but I definitely met my husband's dad. And with him passing, we both agreed, like on our wedding day, we could feel their presence, around us on the wedding day, which was kind of cool. And it is unexplainable to explain that to somebody or testify that to somebody. But yeah, I very much feel that is real and very possible. Does your dad have anything to do with the tattoo that you recently got? I was just curious if it did.
Yes, he definitely does. He's a big part of that, which is kind of interesting because his faith and his beliefs wouldn't necessarily align with tattooing your body, right? But,
yeah, mine wouldn't either, but I do have tattoos. But yeah. I would agree with that.
Yeah, but it absolutely does. So I'm doing the quantum symbol and the lion, and yeah, I'll have to show you when it's all finished, but it absolutely just represents the person that I'm evolving to, and I'm evolving into the person that I am because of him and the beliefs that he's instilled in me. And as you mentioned, Mackenzie, it's hard to even explain with words, but since his passing, even when I visited him in the hospital, like there's just these unsupernatural things that I've experienced through his passing and after his passing that just proves to me that I know that God is real and that He is there overwatching every movement of me. And I know that I can trust myself. Especially prior to 75 Hard and experiencing that mental and physical transformation, I don't feel like I would have ever realized that without experiencing the benefits of that program. And then also experiencing my father's passing. It's just really opened my eyes that there's something so much bigger out there. And it's worthwhile to chase and to trust your own instincts and to pursue it instead of sitting back idle watching life pass us by. So it's been a very interesting last few years.
Yeah, and that's kind of my takeaway from 75 Hard too, is it's a conscious effort. You get out what you put in, and every day you have to wake up, you have to make that choice that, you know, if you're going to be an outdoorsman, you gotta go out there and hone your skills. You gotta practice with the bow. You gotta spin your craft if you're gonna be good at a peak physical condition. It's not an accident that happens. You have to get up, you have to put in the effort, and it's every day, because again, you know, I'm a chubby guy, but I'm working on not being a chubby guy, and I'm glad I started, which I'm all right, but don't get me wrong. But it's you know, I'm glad I started when I did, because I have the whole life ahead of me to continue down this path. 75 is that motivation. It's that this is going to be tough. This is going to be an everyday effort, but I got the rest of the life to do that, to make these changes, to push for personal excellence and things of that nature. So definitely something that you have to go after, and you were doing a great job through your social media and sharing it, and your journey is impeccable for sure. You can tell a transformation. Again, Mackenzie did the honors of bringing up some of your social media, you know, your past, and you've definitely made some transition. I'm sure your father is looking down on you, proud of the steps that you've made to be a good father, all those different things. But she did mention the spouse. How's your spouse feel about this? She's into the outdoors.
So as far as the outdoors go, I wouldn't say she's as passionate about it as I am. She's not huge into hunting, but anytime she has an opportunity, she will definitely go for hikes, and she loves the outdoors from that aspect. She's just not a huge hunter. But as far as the 75 Hard journey and the fitness piece, she's 100% all about that stuff, and she's been a huge support of me doing it. And that's been a huge bonus in us doing it together, and just bringing our family all together on a lot of these these outdoor walks and jogs and stuff. It's been great for our entire family.
What would you say that I guess would be the biggest benefit that you've found doing the most profound change in your life?
As far as the 75 Hard program?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay. The biggest benefit I've seen from 75 Hard and the Live Hard program is just proving to myself that I don't necessarily have to have alcohol in my life. Because like I mentioned before, I started drinking at a very young age, just socially drinking with friends. I mean, I'm talking 13, 14 years old. Is when I started going down that path, and it just become habitual. That's what me and my friends did weekend after weekend after weekend, and that kind of followed my life clear up until my mid-30s. So for me to successfully complete the 75 Hard program and go 75 days without any alcohol was a very big thing for me. I hadn't gone a full month without alcohol since I was probably 14 years old. And I don't mean to make this sound like I was this huge raving alcoholic by any means, because I didn't feel like I was, but it was definitely a bigger piece of my life than what I realized. I was a weekend drinking warrior, if you will, where I'd have a few beers every day, pretty much Friday, Thursday when I got off work through Saturday. So that was a huge benefit for me. But as far as like lifelong transformations, man, the weight, the physical transformation that I've had over the years has definitely been a huge blessing for me. I feel like there was a reason that I was overweight when I was. Otherwise, I wouldn't know what that other side felt like, right? So for me to go from that to where I'm at now, where honestly I probably am at 38 years old, I'm probably in the best physical and mental shape I have been in my entire life. Yeah. So I feel like everything has happened to me for a reason, for me to experience those things and be able to actually speak intelligently to them to try to help others overcome their positions from the same experiences that I've had in the past.
Yeah, I think that to your point and what you had mentioned of just about drinking 75 hard or doing something like that to transform in such a radical way brings out those roaring lions, as scripture, 1 Peter 5:8 says, be alert and of sober mind, your enemy the devil prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. If you don't take a personal assessment of your life in certain areas, those roaring lions are there. We just might not be aware of them until we start to deal with them or they come about.
Yeah, I could definitely relate to that. Like we've talked, it's like I'm a changed person. Like my mind has evolved tremendously since making that switch. It's insane to me. I just can't even hardly believe that I was the person that I was back in 2019. I mean, it wasn't even that long ago.
For sure, and I don't think that we are the same people that we were. I mean, I have a very similar backstory, like Mackenzie mentioned, as far as very overweight as a kid. Got up to almost 300 pounds. I'm not that much taller than you, so pretty similar scale. But the old Aaron, he's still in there. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I've been sober for about 6.5 years now, thank God. But
nice.
you made a video back, I guess it was during or right after that hunt, and you were talking about the alcohol, and I commented on it. I appreciate that stuff coming up, because more people, I think, than what care to admit, for one, but more than that really realize it, are struggling with that, are battling that, just like you said, that, weekend warrior on it. There's a lot of weekend warriors out there. There's a lot of people that we can shed some light on, to not only, I wish I could drink like a normal person. I really do, but I can't. So for me, it's abstinence, complete abstinence from it. But, maybe some people can drink normal. My point is, though, is that we're, Rory Vaden said, we're most powerfully positioned to help the person we used to be. And, like you said, all that happened for a reason. Same thing for me. My alcoholism is probably one of the things I'm most thankful for in my life, and I'm a blessed guy, beautiful wife, 3 healthy children. But the darkness that I saw there, the darkness that I felt there, the darkness that God brought me out of from that has put me on a path that I never would have, dreamed existed anymore. And, same thing with the weight struggles and all those things, that there is a better life, and our bodies are temples, and we have to take care of those, and being able to shine that light and show where we used to be and help people earn the results that you have, and several others, you know, it's a beautiful thing. I appreciate the message that you're putting out, and I appreciate you letting your light shine like you are, you know, and not holding back with some of that stuff, because we don't know who it's going to reach.
Absolutely. And well said. And just you expressing your experiences from it just brings me back to every time I've made a major transformation within my life, I've found myself in that darkness. And I still to this day will find myself in some of those dark places, but I look at those dark places from a different point of view now. It's something greater than us telling us it's time to shift, right? And I think about that back in the college days when I found myself in probably the darkest times of my life, where I was just really depressed. I think it was me poisoning my body with all the alcohol and all the junk food, all the processed foods, and that come along with the beer munchies, you know, just being overweight. And that's when it comes to me. It's like, you've got to make a change, Clint. That's the only option you have. And that's when that switch flips. And that's when I made that first jump to commit to myself to lose that weight. And same thing with 75 Hard. You know, I've seen the results that program gave me and what I was capable of. And it also led me to quitting chewing. So I'm now tobacco free 100%. And then,
you got me there.
You
got me on that one.
Yeah. Do you use tobacco or?
Yeah. Yes, okay. Sir.
Yeah. And you know, that's, like I said, clear back in my early teenage days. It's really when I first got hooked on nicotine, and it was cigarettes for a long time, to the point where I was asthmatic from it. So I was not only obese, but I was chain smoker, where I was asthmatic, puffing on the inhaler at night just to be able to breathe. And I finally took that first initiative to quit smoking, and that opened my eyes that I was capable of bigger things. Right. Unfortunately, I made a stupid mistake by going to chewing tobacco.
I did the exact same thing.
Yeah. And it wasn't until just recently. So I did the Live Hard program. So I think it was actually in October. I believe it was October of 2020 that was one of my daily tasks that I committed to for a month, that I was not going to chew. So I went 30 days straight without chewing. And then after that, it was like, you did it, Clint. You're capable of it. Don't make the same stupid mistake and go back to any form of nicotine. And I have not to this day, and it's the best feeling there is, you know.
That's awesome. Good job. Good for you. And that's a good method to use. Maybe I can employ the same tactic.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I say 75 Hard and the Live Hard program has just been the best program I have ever crossed paths with, because it's shown me who I truly am and what I'm really capable of. And without that, to be honest with you, I would have never competed in the First Form November Knockdown Challenge, which has led to me taking first in the qualifiers, which got me to the finals, and it's opened tons of different doors and different avenues for me ever since. And it's brought me to exactly where I'm at today, where I feel like I'm in a place where I can make a larger impact to help a lot more people with a lot of the things that I've overcome in my life.
Well,
so
Clint,
very blessed.
Well, we appreciate your time and accepting the invitation to be on the podcast. There's not a lot of people, or there's fewer people than you would think that want to talk about faith and the outdoors. Of course, they want to talk about fitness in the outdoors. That's easy. But when you want to talk about your passion and who you are and the character of people, people kind of get, I don't know if I want to talk about those topics. And we appreciate your openness and willingness. And we want your social media to blend with ours. So if you could tell our listeners where they could find you. I know that you have Instagram and Facebook. Do you have YouTube too?
I do, but it's pretty stale, to be honest with you. I haven't put a whole lot of attention to detail to my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can find me at Clint Kingston 1 on Instagram. That's where I put most of my content, and then Facebook, just Clint Kingston. And then I also just recently developed a Facebook group where I'm inviting like-minded individuals like ourselves who want to see themselves improve and help others improve as self-improvement, called Quantum Evolution. And yeah, you can find that under my Facebook link as well.
That's awesome. Thank you very much. Well,
Yeah.
well we do you have anything else that you want to share? We want to give you the open floor to close us out. If there's anything you'd want to share, you're more than welcome.
No, I just really appreciate you guys for the invitation to be here today with you, and yeah, keep doing what you guys are doing. You're making a huge impact. I love following along with your guys' content as well. So thanks again, Mackenzie. I really appreciate you guys, Jonathan and Aaron.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The pleasure's ours.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
I think we should definitely collaborate again in the future. Whatever it is, I mean, even I think I'm looking right now. Is it Team Quantum Evolution?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I would like to maybe collaborate on that again, and maybe that's another episode at another time, and pick your brain on that. See how that comes about. But definitely thank you. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, absolutely. Of course. Look forward to it.
I mean, because honestly, we could drag this out. I want to know everything about you. I want to know what bow you shoot, all that kind of stuff. I'm interested in all those kind of things. I love the outdoors. I love talking. I mean, anything we can do to again, sharpen our tools. Iron sharpens iron, right? I think snow's falling here in Illinois. That's crazy.
Oh, geez. You guys are getting some weather, too.
It looks like it, but definitely appreciate you coming on and spending the time and talking with us. And this is Jonathan bringing you another Absent with Our Lord podcast. Team AWOL out.